Yo, yo, yo. What is up, everybody? This is the Chicago Analyst Sports Talk, Michael. I am your die-hard fan. So, the topic today is going to be will Justin Fields make the 49ers regret not taking him? So, let's go through the story. So, during the 2021 NFL draft, there was this whole story that who the 49ers were going to take for the number 3 overall pick. Was it going to be Justin Fields? Was it going to be Trey Lance? Or was it going to be Mac Jones? If you know me, for a while, every analyst projected the 49ers to take Mac Jones. Every 49ers fan on Twitter, Instagram, maybe Facebook, I don't know, pressured the 49ers not to take Mac Jones. When it came to draft night, when it was the 3rd overall pick, the 49ers have taken Trey Lance over Mac Jones and Justin Fields. Now, keep in mind here, folks, we're going to look at the two quarterbacks, Justin Fields and Trey Lance, a little bit. Trey Lance only started 10 games in college. Justin Fields started a full season throughout the first year, his first year in Ohio State, and his second year. That's when his final year when he defeated Trevor Lawrence in the Sugar Bowl, but he fell short during against the the Alabama team. And to be fair, they had a great team all around them. So Justin Fields should have been a top 10 overall pick. No one expected Justin Fields all to fall all the way to the 11th overall pick, which the Giants traded with the Chicago Bears. So keep in mind, folks, keep in mind. Justin Fields, to any NFL analyst, looked at the 49ers and was like, how could you not take Justin Fields, the 3rd overall pick? So we got a new comment here. Of course, David McNew, Lynch and Shanahan took Trey Lance because they wanted him. They don't listen to what us fans think. I believe Shanahan wanted to take Mac Jones, but the media plays a huge factor into this because when the media pressures Kyle Shanahan to be like, "Oh, you're gonna have to take. Why are you taking Mac Jones when he had a horrible combine? When he got when he really did not look good, and when he was carried in Alabama." So the media played a huge factor into Kyle Shanahan taking Trey Lance. So the Lone Buccaneer, love that name by the way. Justin Fields over Trey Lance. And I'll say this, and I'm gonna get heated by gonna get heated by the 49ers fans. He's not lying. Justin Fields is currently better than Trey Lance. That's what they have over the 49ers is the quarterback. And think Shanahan wanted Jimmy G 2.0, he would have taken Mac Jones. Um y'all okay, so here's the thing with Mac Jones. I feel like the 49ers offense fits Mac Jones's system. It's kind of the same thing with Trey Lance. It's not Trey Lance. It's the same thing with Jimmy Garoppolo. It's who it's the same offense you run with Jimmy Garoppolo. It's just a way better a quarterback that has similar traits to Jimmy Garoppolo. What up, YTC? Everyone go check out his podcast with Brandon over on YTC's channel. What's going on, Caro? I want to see Justin Fields win this game no matter what. I am a Bears fan, by the way. Hey, if you are a Bears fan, leave a like, leave a comment, and hit the subscribe button. I want saying hello. To be real, I think the 49ers were stupid to pick Trey Lance over Justin Fields. And people say Justin Fields should have been the second pick in the draft thoughts. Well, I was surprised that Justin Fields wasn't the second overall pick when it came to Zach Wilson. So I think that the Jets made a huge mistake of taking Zach Wilson over Justin Fields because if you look, Trevor Lawrence was obviously going to go number one, but the analysts had Trevor Lawrence being the best quarterback in that class and Justin Fields being the second best quarterback in that class. I mean, it didn't matter who the Niners were going to take, who fits into Kyle's mold. So I'm just saying this quarterbacks in the scheme of offenses matter. For those of the 49ers fans that are in here listening, every quarterback you guys have had besides Jimmy Garoppolo in the Kyle Shanahan era has have a losing record of 8-24. Now you can make an argument that Nick Mullins, Befford, and Hoyer sucked. But if Kyle Shanahan is that coach, he has to work with whatever quarterback he has. I've seen the Saints the Saints were a 500 team with Taysom Hill as their quarterback. What analysts named them? I don't have the analysts, but they were saying that Trevor Lawrence was the best quarterback in that draft class. So he was obviously going to be the number one overall pick. They were saying that Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields, because keep in mind here, folks, Trey Lance was a late first round pick at best. So looking at the situation, the analysts were like, how come Justin Fields all the way did not take why did Justin Fields fall all the way to 11th? As a Bears fan, Justin has to still be pissed from the draft. I mean, that's why he probably wasn't happy because a lot of teams passed up. But he is going to show all the teams that passed him up what's up. I mean, I believe so. I believe so because if you look, everyone was surprised that the Carolina Panthers and the Denver Broncos did not take Justin Fields. Everyone had him going to the Panthers. Everybody had him going to the Denver Broncos, and everyone had him going to, I think it was the Giants before they traded. Everyone had him going to the Jets as well. So Captain Juice announced today Michael changes his profile picture. Hey, if Gavin, for those of you who don't know what he's talking about, let me educate you. So me and Gavin have this bet going on. If Kyle Juszczyk is captain, I will have to change my profile picture to a Kyle Juszczyk profile picture of his choosing. YTC says, if the Niners took Mac Jones, it would have been Jimmy Garoppolo 2.0, who sucks to pass the ball 20 yards, let alone 10 yards. I know because he was near dead in 5 per completions. So here's the thing. I think it would have not mattered if Mac Jones was to start a quarterback because they dealt with Jimmy Garoppolo for over 3 years that he's been here. So it's literally the same attributes of Mac Jones. I still think it would have not mattered if Mac Jones was the quarterback because they would still have a winning record. What's going on, Iron Torch? Shout out to Iron Torch. We won't know since Trey Lance is such a wild card. He has had a few glaring red flags, but the 49ers traded up since they didn't think any of the 2020 quarterbacks were any of that good. So here's the thing. Before they traded got Trey Lance, it was reported that when Aaron Rodgers had that drama, it was reported that the 49ers were in talks with the Green Bay Packers to get Aaron Rodgers for the 3rd overall pick before they got Trey Lance. Trey Lance still has red flags because he only started 10 games in college. And everyone wants to talk about his stats. He only started 10 games. Meanwhile, Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, hell, even Mac Jones started their whole career. It actually worked out for Denver and Bruss. Yeah, yes, the Denver got a good quarterback, but if I told you that the Denver Broncos, let's just say if the Denver Broncos didn't get Russell Wilson, it still is going to bite them in the ass. If they didn't let's just say if Denver didn't get Russell Wilson, we would be sitting here and saying how Denver is so stupid because they passed on Justin Fields, and I think they took like a CB or something. Someone will have to remind me. From a quarterback standby, you can make a debate Fields and Lance from a talent standpoint, but you have to realize the Niners have an influences that's set to win a Super Bowl if their quarterback pans out. And that's another thing I want to address. If everybody is saying it doesn't matter who the 49ers quarterback is. It doesn't matter who the 49ers quarterback. It could be Jalen Hurts. It could be Daniel Jones. We're still going to have a decent team. The quarterback spot is what the 49ers are missing. And I believe if a quarterback with an elite level completes that ball to the Sanders pass, and the 49ers have their 6th Super Bowl or 7th. Someone remind me in the chat. I believe they have their 6th Super Bowl right now. If a confident quarterback throws the ball and completes the pass to Sanders for a wide open touchdown. The Bears are in a new system and new head coach like my Giants, and it's not going to pop up in 1 year, especially for second-year quarterbacks learning a new system and having his line struggle. And the offensive line is a very concerning, and we have our projected offensive line, if you see on Twitter, is going to be the left guard will be Braxton Jones, who's been I'm actually pretty shocked that a 5th-round pick is doing well. I was expecting Braxton Jones to be to be a good depth spot, to be a good backup, but he has been doing very Charnett. He's been doing well in training camp, and he's been doing good in the preseason. Left guard obviously will be Cody Whitehair. The center will be Lucas Patricks. I just got a report that he has returned for practice. The right guard will be Tevin Jenkins, and the right tackle will be Larry Bourne, which I'm surprised Riley Leaf did not get that starting spot. Karen Rogers was not an option. Neither was Brady. It was all media speculation with no baking. Hold on, David McNew. It was reported that when Brady was a free agent, he wanted to go to the 49ers, but the 49ers turned down his offer. When Brady was a free agent, this was when Tom Brady was on the New England Patriots, where he was finding a new team. San Francisco, Tennessee, and the Chargers and the Buccaneers were his teams. The Chargers declined because I don't think they wanted to look more into Herbert. The San Francisco 49ers were sticking with Jimmy Garoppolo, and the Tennessee Titans were sticking with Ryan Tannehill. They overpaid Ryan Tannehill, so Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay, and it was reported that um, Brady always wanted to be a 49er. You could see old photos of Brady in a 49ers jersey when he was younger, all with having no notable depth wide receivers outside of movie. That puts fear in defensive coordinators that they will put Niners to find a way to stop them. So, for those of you who do not know what YTC is talking about, he's saying that we have no receivers outside of Mooney, which he is right because we got I just got a report that Pringle and Velus Jones Jr. have returned to practice. So I think Pringle is a lock for that number 2 spot, and the 3 spot is going to be Velus Jones Jr. So let's look at let me take a look at Brian Pringle's stats real quick. All right, Brian Pringle had 57 targets, 42 receptions. He had a total of 568 yards and only 5 receiving touchdown passes, and he had an overall of 66.5 according to PFF. So, all right. So, taking that to accountability, Pringle should be locked enough to Pringle should be is the second going to be the second receiver guaranteed. Velus Jones Jr. It was projected to be N'Keal Harry, but he's out. But Velus Jones Jr. has been really stepping it up in training camp lately. We tried to get Tom Brady when we traded for Jimmy G, but didn't you guys have Tom Brady on your radar when he was a free agent in 2019? Gavin. Montgomery and Mooney are the only weapons that are proven. Everyone else is unknown to their presence known. YTC, before you say anything, I am very high on Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet is going to be a huge factor in this Bears offense, and I want to. And Cole Kmet is a great has been very good when it came to yards after the catch. When you throw the ball to Cole Kmet, he is a bully. Why would it shock you about Braxton Jones? Poles drafted Trey Smith in the 6th round last year, but he was a Pro Bowler. It shocked me because a left guard coming from a small school is not expected to make the starting roster. Teal Talk Sports. Do you think the reports that the Bears are going to be the worst team in the NFL is going to happen? See, here's the thing about that. I don't think the Bears are going to be the worst team in the NFL. So everyone that is saying that the Bears are going to go winless this year, I could name you some teams off the top of my head that are going to be the worst, that are set to be the worst team in the NFL. The Seahawks, the Browns, because they are rolling with Jacoby Brissett, because Deshaun Watson suspended for 11 games. The Falcons, maybe even the Giants, but the Jets probably. So I just named you 5 teams right off the bat that could be the worst team in the NFL. Bears announced their team, and even the Texans. The Texans, but I think the Texans will win like 4 to 5 games this year. The Bears will announce their captains on Wednesday. The Falcons and Texans will competing for that name in Seattle. See, I mean, YTC, it's kind of true if you really think about it. But I don't think the Giants will go winless. I think that's the top. That's will be Seattle or the Falcons. Don't forget about the tech. Yeah. So the question is, will Justin Fields is going to prove a point. He's going to have to prove to the 49ers fans, not only to the 49ers fans, to the analysts that that he should have been the 3rd overall pick. He's going to have to prove himself on Sunday, even if he has a good performance, but we still end up losing. He's still going to have to make. He's still going to have to make sure that he should have been a top tier quarterback in that class. Do you want to know what this reminds me of, folks? I think it was the 2005 or 2006 NFL draft. The 49ers, I think, were the 3rd overall pick. Same year. I think they were the number 1 overall pick, the 2nd overall pick, or 3rd overall pick. They decided to take Alex Smith over Aaron Rodgers. So it's kind of similar to that situation where they took Trey Lance over Justin Fields. So that's kind of similar if you think about it. Because even though I think I'll bet you that if they had Aaron Rodgers, they would have been a way better team than what people think. And even though it does look good because Aaron Rodgers was 0-4 against the 49ers, I still think that they should have taken Aaron Rodgers over Alex Smith. It's shocking that ESPN has the Bears defense in. Yeah, I think our defense, even though they lost Khalil Mack, Akeem Hicks. Hey, if they lost, I still think their defense is going to be 30. I think their defense is going to be 15th overall at best because you have to understand Matt Eberflus, before he was the Colts defensive coordinator, the Colts defense was ass. But when Matt Eberflus took over, takeaways were very important in the Colts defense. So since where we are coming into game week, what's your prediction for Justin Fields, and what is your prediction overall in the game against the 49ers and what's your keys to victory against the 49ers. I've said this on my prediction on my I don't think it was last night's stream, but the afternoon stream yesterday. My prediction for Justin Fields is to have an average game. And the keys for the 40 us to beat the 49ers is number one, they're going to have to use Trey Lance's inexperience to their advantage because allegedly the Trey Lance has not had a full experience of the game than Justin Fields. This is only his third game, so they're going to have to use Trey Lance's inexperience to his advantage. Justin Fields has been there, done that. Justin Fields has been in positions where he needed to make a play to win the game. The 49ers game, the Steelers game, and even the Packers game, the second game, both games. And I think we will beat the 49ers. No question, no doubt in my mind. You can call me a homer, you can call me whatever. I don't think that Trey Lance is going to be that good of a quarterback, because if they were, why the hell would they bring back Jimmy Garoppolo? I don't get it. They could, and they're going to have to use Justin Fields. I mean, not just Fields. They're going to have to use Trey Lance's inexperience to their advantage. Sorry about that, fellas. I don't know what I was saying. So let me look at the comments real quick. Oh, yeah, talking about betting. And I want to address this thing. Hey, same could be said about Justin Fields, but why does he? Here's what my counter to that is. They said Justin Fields started 11 games. I mean not 11. He only started 7 games. Trey Lance is still technically new to the NFL. If because it's only his third game and he's still technically a rookie. Justin Fields, after the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game where he threw 3 interceptions, improved a lot. But it only came. But here's what everyone needs to understand: that Justin Fields only does good if you do the play actions. Play actions will help a lot with Justin Fields. I'm glad Garoppolo is not playing. And here's the thing with 49ers fans: Garoppolo is not a bad quarterback. Somehow they still find ways to win games with Jimmy Garoppolo playing. I mean, 49ers have a better overall team than the Bears. I think I would only give the Bears running back because I think Monty is better than Elijah Mitchell. I think Justin Fields is way better than Trey Lance, so I'll give those two to the Bears. Oh yeah, Fields started 10 games, so Justin Fields has that advantage over Trey Lance. So I wouldn't be surprised if the defense for the Bears is designing plays to make Trey Lance feel uncomfortable. They're going to have to just. The key here is to blitz Trey Lance. And I'll give this one to Trey. He has better safety. He has better running skills. So they have to make sure that Trey Lance does not get out of the pocket, because if he gets out of the pocket and there's a wide open lane, that could be set for huge trouble. Michael, this isn't the NBA. One man can't carry a team. It's a team sport every season, but the quarterback matters. Let's not forget why the 49ers do not have their sixth Super Bowl, because Jimmy Garoppolo overthrew Sanders for the wide open touchdown. Any quarterback, any average quarterback makes that throw. Yeah, I forgot what I was saying. So you're relying on um you're basically relying on a second year to overcome a struggling line and an unknown receiving core. Well, Justin Fields has been creating a lot of chemistry in camp. He's doing it a lot with Mooney. He's doing a lot with Cole Kmet. He's doing a lot with Velus Jones Jr. I still think that quarterbacks matter in the NFL. 49ers have a better room. Fuck out of here. But I saw Joe Flacco win a Super Bowl with the elite team, and I saw an NFC Championship game with Keatum and Foles can make it with elite defense and elite coaching. So I'll give you from the two. We're gonna go from 2010 to currently, starting with 2010. Aaron Rodgers, Hall of Fame quarterback. 2011, Eli Manning in the, I believe it was the 9-7 Giants, or the, someone will have to remind me, but Eli Manning was an above average quarterback. 2012 with the Ravens, Joe Flacco. He balled out in the playoffs, so he was like an elite quarterback in the playoffs. 2014, Russell Wilson. Hey, he's elite. Let Russ cook. 2015, Tom Brady, the GOAT. 2016, not 2015, 2014, Brady won that. 2015, Peyton Manning won that out of his worst seasons. Peyton Manning's a Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. 2017, Tom Brady, the GOAT. 20, the Super Bowl where Nick Foles beat Tom Brady. Nick Foles does great in the playoffs. And you could make a case that Nick Foles is a mediocre quarterback, but when it came to playoffs, Nick Foles had a better stand. So I would say he was an average quarterback at that time. 2018, Brady, again, the GOAT. 2019, Patrick Mahomes, current MVP, elite. And 2020, Tom Brady again, the GOAT, won that game. Matthew Stafford, above average quarterback. So all the quarterbacks I just named you are either elite, above average, or average. Jimmy G is still on the team because Lynch believes that he can get something for him. And he has no trade value, and Lynch is on the bed getting something. Look, I still think that you could have just cut Jimmy Garoppolo. And I want to say this to those of everybody that's saying that, oh, the reason why Jimmy Garoppolo is still on the Niners is because they're afraid of what he might do on the Seahawks. So I'm going to ask the chat a question. How many wins does the Seattle Seahawks get if they get Jimmy Garoppolo? 8, 7, 6, maybe even 5 wins. So I don't see the problem is what I don't see the issue. Like I'm trying to see this. why were the 49ers afraid of giving Jimmy Garoppolo to the Seahawks if they were like if he was going to he can resurrect a franchise. So I want to understand this. I have to understand this. Joe Flacco balled out in the playoffs and during the Ravens Super Bowl year. And that's another thing. People forget Joe Flacco and Nick Foles were good in the playoffs. Nick Foles had, I think he had 7 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions during the playoffs. As far as Joe Flacco, I don't know his stats, but I know when it came to the playoffs, Joe Flacco uh, was elite in the playoffs. Last team to win a Super Bowl with a bad quarterback was the 2020 Buccaneers. Last team to go to the Super Bowl with bad quarterback was 2006 was the Bears. So, Kevin, can you do me a favor? Can you name me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback in 2002 was? But I know who our quarterback was when we got to the Super Bowl, Rex Grossman. Yeah, that barely even proved anything. And I'm not trying to brag about it, but that's the point I'm trying to make. 2020 was Brad Johnson. So, Brad, I don't know if I don't know who that is, then I'm pretty sure he was just a random that nobody even heard of that got carried to the Super Bowl. Quarterbacks from the 2000s to now have been above average or elites or average. And I do have a point that you need a quarterback um, that will be able to be there for you even in crucial moments. Aaron Rodgers won MVP in one MVP. I think he was 15-1 with the worst defense in the league. My point is that part of winning a Super Bowl does not involve around the great quarterback, but a great coach and look at the Buccaneers defense in 2020. Tom Brady, Bruce Arians, and the elite front seven. All right, so you do um, you do have a point, but I want to counter that for a moment. So Tom Brady in that 2020 Super Bowl where they were facing the Chiefs, Tom Brady had, I think he had 240 something yards and 3 touchdown passes. One was to Gronk. I don't know what the second one was to, and the third one was to Antonio Brown. I think Tom Brady played an average game, but the reason why the Chiefs struggled was because they were missing 2 of their starting offensive line. And I believe if the Mahomes had a good offensive line, they would have put up a better fight. Kevin says, I'm probably older than you. I'm agreeing nowadays you really need a good quarterback. And yes, I see that. Getting a good quarterback matters the most. I don't care what anybody says. I've seen too much mediocrity for too long to give up to say that, oh, it doesn't matter. We can win with average or mediocre quarterback. I want an elite quarterback. Bottom line. That's what I expect in this kid, and that's what I expect in any quarterback. But even with Trubisky, I wanted to say that Trubisky, like in 2018, we were saying that we were going to win the Super Bowl with that defense. And I was one of the few people that said, don't be surprised if the Bears in 2018 go to the Super Bowl that year. But the problem was the special teams double doink. They were able to stop the best quarterback in Patrick Mahomes, who people said was unstoppable. YCC, I could counter that a little bit, saying that they were missing 2 of their starting offensive line. But people want to understand. I think it was the 7th or 8th game. where the Chiefs traveled to Tampa Bay. Mahomes had their 2 starting offensive line, and that was the game I believe the Chiefs won that game. And Tyreek Hill had a good game as well. Sea Chickens might get 6 wins with Jimmy Garoppolo. It wasn't feared. It wasn't spite. Sea Chickens get nothing. So it was rumored that if the 49ers were to cut Jimmy Garoppolo, the Seahawks automatically would have him on his radar. So I believe I don't think the Seahawks would have mattered if they had Jimmy Garoppolo. At least Brady was from a successful franchise when he was with the Patriots. What did he do his first year? He went over to Tampa Bay and winning the Super Bowl. So let me ask you guys a question in the chat. In 2019, did we all think Tom Brady was washed? I thought he was washed. Then the following year, he goes all the way to Tampa Bay. He had Mike Evans, Goodwin, Antonio Brown, and he had Gronk, who he has great relationship with. Tom Brady, that was Tom Brady's whole team. Now that front seven had Lante David, JPP, Devin White, Vert Vea, and Shaq Griffin were getting to Mahomes. But you had to look why they were getting to Patrick Mahomes. The Kansas City, okay, so you can make a case that wasn't worse than the Broncos and Seahawks Super Bowl. The Chiefs didn't have 2 of their starting offensive line. And no one wants to bring this up, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did technically play at their home stadium. So playing at their own home stadium and even at the Super Bowl is a huge event. And that playing and hold effect in that plays a huge factor in that game, especially in the Super Bowl. But the Buccaneers did technically play at home. Kevin says if Trubisky balls out this year for the Steelers and Fields plays well, I think Matt Nagy will be working at a Safeway next year. Yeah, Matt Nagy. I still think he's still going to be under the league of Matt Nagy. I mean, not Matt. He's still going to be under the league of Andy Reid. Shaq Griffin. Yeah, I botched that one. My bad, folks. I meant to say Shaq Barrett. So, any last questions, comments, or concerns for week 1? And I won't. All right, we got David McNew says Tom Brady has had a good team around him. Report says Giselle wanted him to retire. She doesn't make more money than him. I believe that is true. Tom Brady has always had a good team around him, but he's always found a way to make something out of nothing. So, Tom Brady over in his last year in New England, he only had Edelman. I think he didn't really have any weapons to work with in 2019. The receiving core was, I think it was Damiere Byrd was in there, I believe, Jacoby Brissett, and I think they also had N'Keal Harry. So, and after he left, and the Patriots, when they signed Cam Newton, had 7 wins, I believe, and they missed the playoffs that year. What up, Pete Gorman? I hope I'm saying it right. Bang, bang, Niner gang. So I'm assuming you're a 49ers fan because of that chant. Hey, week 1, nothing personal. We're beating the Niners. Nothing personal. But you're welcome to subscribe and leave a like and subscribe to the channel I don't know how you found my channel, but I do welcome my channel to any sports fans that are not Bears fans. So any last questions, anybody, before I end the stream here? I want to thank everybody for a great stream. I want to thank everyone for a great stream. Y'all have been rocking with me in the off season. Want to thank everybody, including YTC who was in here. I've been on his hangout streams. So, what up, Joseph McDonald? The Bears are gonna smoke the 49ers 31-7. Justin will have his revenge. And people say I'm a homer, but I don't think it will be that bad. No, YC, I won't be going for Raw tonight. I unfortunately won't, but I could be going live. I could not, but I have school tomorrow, allegedly. But I want to say to everybody, thank you all for tuning into the stream. Leave a like, subscribe. I'm still laughing at Joseph's comment. Like, okay, before I end the stream, can you give an explanation why the Bears is going to blow out the 49ers? Even I don't even think we're going to blow out the 49ers. I don't think that I will. I mean, it could happen, don't get me wrong. So, anyways, thank you all for tuning into the stream. Leave a like, hit that subscribe button down below. As always, go Bears, not the Niners.